Hi guys, welcome back. Another one-take wonder on the phone. Normal service resumes soon. But England slumped to defeat. Wales surged to victory in their first warm-ups. Plenty to cheer about for Wales, but for England the pressing matter is the squad gets picked on Monday. So who do I think has made it? Who's impressed? Who hasn't? And the bad news is not many have impressed, to be honest. A couple of bright sparks, a couple that gone throughout the game pretty bright. Let me know if you think you agree with me when I come to those. But let's run a rule through this team. I mean, Ellis Genge's going, we know that. He was captain today. I'm not overly sure he should be captain. I didn't really see the changes up in mentality. He carried pretty well. He scrummaged okay, and that's kind of his thing. Blamire, the hookers needed big games, and they didn't. Blamire carried again, fairly well, tackled fairly well, but lost a few key lineouts. The English lineouts were a bit of a mess in the whole game, really. Dan came on, had a bit of a nightmare, so not good for the hookers, but someone's probably going to go. I mean, this kind of shows you how this is quite a weak England squad, saying that probably one of these guys who's had poor games goes. Stewart, he was one of the shining lights. He obviously didn't play the whole game, as props tend not to, but he scrummaged really well, won some penalties, albeit against a new cap. But yeah, the job of the tight head is to scrummage. England need a solid scrum. I think he needs to start, so he's definitely going. The battle of the second rows, Ribbons had to go off fairly early with an HIA, and I saw some decent stuff from Ribbons. A couple of mistakes. A lot of the England players dropped the ball in that first half when they had good possession, really good chances to score. Some really bad fumbles from the England players, actually. Skill's not really up to it, but Ribbons looked okay until he went off, but okay might not be enough, so he's right on the edge. Because I think George Martin outshone him. After an early error, he showed he can whack away, he can tackle super hard, carry hard, just be a hard man, second row /6, which could be interesting. If Chesham doesn't make it, he could take his spot. If Chesham makes it, he might stay at home, because obviously Courtney Lawes is going to go. The back row, Ludlam works super hard. You've got to love Ludlam. Is he outstanding at anything though? Probably not. So he's not a world-class back row, but he's honest as the day is long. He's probably going to go, but I mean, using him as a line-out forward, we saw today, he's not that tall, athletic line-out presence we probably need, but I think he's going to go. It kind of sums up the England team. Tom Pearson needed a huge game and didn't really get it. Nothing too bad, but nothing too great, and he's just not going to go ahead of Curry and Willis and probably Earl, so I think that's his charge over. Hopefully we'll see him after the World Cup, because I think he is a great player, and he actually didn't do too bad. Alex Dombrandt, we saw what he's good at, hitting lines, nice hands. Is he a grafter? Is he someone who's going to slug it out and beat the likes of Dwayne Vermeulen? No, that's the issue, but he's probably going to go, because the guy trying to take his place there, Tom Willis, really didn't have a chance or couldn't make an impact, because England were pretty much struggling when he came on anyway. But again, Tom Willis is someone we will see after the World Cup. Kieran Smith, who won that battle as such? Not that it was a battle, but Smith looked better than Kerr. Kerr, couple of bad kicks, didn't really make an impact, got really shrugged off too easily by Wainwright, caught out on the wing there. Needed a big game if they're going to take 2 scrum halves, but if they take 3, he's okay. If they take 2, I think Van Poortvliet goes. Van Poortvliet came on and did nothing wrong, but nothing exciting. That's kind of his thing as well. Marcus Smith, I thought looked pretty good actually. I thought he ran the attack well, kicked at goal really well in that first half. Linked up especially with Joe Marchant fantastically well in attack, and Joe Marchant, let's go to him, was one of the bright spots, probably the player of the match for England. Really good in defence and big turnovers, rushed up, made tackles, breaks. Great game for Marchant. He would go ahead of Slade for me, although I don't know if that's going to happen. He could still miss out Marchant, and if he does, he doesn't deserve to, because that was a brilliant effort in a losing team. Inside in Porter, Guy Porter, he's okay. He's a journeyman centre. I like him a lot. He's really hard working, great club guy. International, no. And again, that's England's issue. So Porter doesn't go. And Malin Sokanasiga, I don't think they go either. Sokanasiga bashes hard, is very useful in attack, but we saw anything involving catching is hairy. Turning and running back is hairy. Agility, it's not there. So I don't think he goes. He'd get exposed. And Malin's lovely player, lovely skills, But if you're going to be an international wing, you either need to be powerful or quick, and he's neither, and he'll get found out. I mean, Lewis Rees-Zammit pretty much schooled the whole back three in England, just showing them you need express pace or something to be a good international, and I just don't think they have it. So I wouldn't take either of those two wingers. Stewart at fullback actually looked really good for a lot of the game, and then his weaknesses got exposed. I mean, his high ball was decent, made some good counter-attacks, which has been a weak part, but then again, one-on-one tackling in space is a bit hairy, turning is a bit hairy, he's not that quick, so yeah, he's going to go, but again, a little bit exposed at times. The bench, we mentioned Dan. Rod came on and tried hard, but he's probably, harsh as it is, not quite big enough for an international prop. Sinclair, okay, and that's kind of his thing at the moment. Johnny Hill was kind of okay to poor, and that's his thing. Van Poortvliet, we mentioned. Ford came on and couldn't unlock the defence, so not a bad outing, but didn't make the difference, and Slade had no time. So a lot of poor to average to not that great. A couple of bright sparks, I'd say Stewart, maybe Martin, and then Marchant. They were decent. I think they should all go. But apart from that, a lot of these guys can be really worried, and I think they should miss out, a lot of these people. Anyway, let me know who you think should go, who shouldn't off that performance, and I'll catch you next time.